Prologue: The Haunting Call. Liverpool's neon-lit streets glistened in the aftermath of a heavy rain. The city's industrial grit washed clean for a fleeting moment. Detective Alex Ramsey stood at the window of his office in the city's police department, watching droplets race down the glass. The faint aroma of curry from the takeaway across the street mingled with the stale scent of coffee that perpetually hung in the air. A flash of lightning illuminated the sky, transporting Ramsey back to that fateful night 5 years ago. The crack of gunfire, the smell of cordite, his partner Johnny's body crumpling to the ground. Ramsey shook his head, dispelling the memory. He'd vowed never to let another case go unsolved, yet here he was, staring at another dead end. Ramsey turned back to his desk, his gaze falling on the cold case file of Diane Masters. Her photograph, faded and creased at the edges, seemed to stare back at him accusingly. He'd known Diane, had worked with her husband Alan, a man whose political influence cast long shadows across the city. The weight of his failure to solve her murder pressed down on him, adding another line to his weathered face. "I'll find who did this to you, Diane," Ramsey muttered, his fingers tracing the outline of her face. "I promised Alan, and I'm not about to break that promise." He flipped through the file, re-examining the facts he'd memorized years ago. Diane's body found floating in the Sanitary Canal. The canal, once a symbol of Liverpool's industrial might, now a dumping ground for the city's darkest secrets. Rumors of corruption, of high-level cover-ups, swirled around the case like the murky waters that had claimed Diane's life. The shrill ring of his phone cut through the silence, startling him. Ramsey snatched up the receiver, his voice gruff with a mix of fatigue and anticipation. "Detective Ramsey?" "Detective," a hushed voice whispered, sending a chill down Ramsey's spine. "I know what happened to Diane Masters." Ramsey's grip tightened on the phone, his knuckles turning white. "Who is this?" he demanded, fighting to keep his voice steady. A soft, humorless chuckle drifted through the line. "Let's just say I'm someone who knows the truth. The truth about the Sanitary Canal conspiracy." Ramsey's heart raced. The Sanitary Canal conspiracy, a term whispered in dark corners hinting at a web of corruption that entangled the city's elite. "What do you know?" he asked, his voice low and urgent. "Everything," the voice replied, a hint of cruel amusement coloring the words. "Who killed Diane Masters? Why and how it's all connected to the canal. But knowledge is power, detective, and power comes at a price." Ramsey's free hand clenched into a fist, nails digging into his palm. "Name it," he urged, years of pent-up frustration bleeding into his words.